This video is how to cut and sew a baggy trouser. It's very simple and it's beginner friendly. Note that how you cut a male trouser and a female trouser is differently. Also, if you get your crotch depth by timesing your hips divided by 4 plus 1, then this video is not for you. With the process I'm using, you have to take your body rise or crotch depth length on your client from the tiniest part of your waist to your crotch depth. So if you have done that, then head over and watch this video. This is the fabric I'll be using. I have Ankara and another piece. In total there are 2.5 yards. This is actually, I made it a cargo trouser, as you can see. So here I'm going to take off 2 inches for my elastic, and then I'm going to mark the crotch, the hip line at 8.75 and the crotch depth as 11.5, and then the final length of the trouser at 46 inches. I have added all my sewing allowance to this, so I'm going to go ahead and square this line out. I just need the hip line measurement, the crotch depth, and the length of the trouser, because you don't need to shape the knee length. So I'll just go ahead and connect the lines like so. Note that you can do this directly onto your fabric, meaning that this is freehand. I'm just doing it on a pattern paper because I want you guys to see what I'm marking. That's the only reason why I'm using a pattern paper. So this is the waistline, the hip line, the crotch line, and the final length. So here is the center front. I'm going to come in 3.5 inches and mark for this. This is going to be the crotch extension. If you're on the plus size, you can make it 4. If you're on the slimmer side, you can make it 3 inches. So I'll just go ahead and square this out. Then from the center front here, I'm going to go in by 1 inch and connect this to the hip line like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and make a curve, a crotch curve like this with my hip curve. So make sure to note the 1 inch. So from that 1 inch, I'm going to get the waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches, because we're going to use elastic, and then 1 inch sewing allowance. On the hip line, you're going to also do the hips divided by 4 plus 1 inch ease, and another 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then whatever I have here, I'm going to go ahead and square it all the way to the hemline. So I'll just go ahead and measure what I have here and square it down to the hemline straight. Remember, it's a baggy trouser. So remember, this is a baggy trouser, so it is very simple to make. Actually, this is all for the making of the trouser, the front panel. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out after ruling this line. Remember, I have already added all my sewing allowance, so I'm just going to place it like this and cut out when I'm cutting on the fabric. So I'll just go ahead and cut out the pattern paper, and with this we're going to use it to make few adjustments for the back. So if you're cutting straight on the fabric, you can fold your fabric into 4, making sure that the back side is a bit longer with like 5 inches. So this is my fabric. I've left some inches. So here I'm going to extend the back to 3 inches. If you're on the slimmer side, you can do 2. And here I'm going to come in 2 inches and go up 3 inches, so that the back will relax properly. So I'm just going to connect this straight, and then the 2 inches I've taken out from the waistline, I'm going to go ahead and also square the waistline out, so that I'll replace that at the side seam. So whatever I have as my waistline, on the new line of the back, I'm going to take that, and wherever that stops, I'm going to mark it like so. So go ahead and connect the line like this. This is what makes male and female trouser different. So now I'm going to add 1 inch on the inseam, and then on the side seam I'm going to connect it like this. Just watch the way I connected it. So I'm going to, this, my phone stopped at some point, so take note of what I'm marking here. I'm going to show you what I did, how I connected the crotch extension. So this is it. This was what I cut off from my fabric. Can you see this? This is what I cut off from the pattern paper. So what I just did was just to use my hip curve and connect the back crotch extension to the waistline like this, and that was it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to cut out my fabric. If I place the two of them together, you can see how they are looking. So I'll cut this out on the fabric. As you can see, my Ankara was not enough for the back side. I'm going to complete it with another fabric, but for the front, the back length was okay. So I'm going to go ahead and join the center back and the center front. So this is it after joining it, and for the back I have also increased the length, as you can see. Yes, it's always good for your baggy trouser to flow well than hanging on your ankle. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the side seam. I've added all the pockets. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and sew the side seam. And after sewing the side seam, this is how it's looking with all the pockets in place. So next thing I'm going to do now is to sew the crotch area, and then I'm going to insert the elastic. So this is the fabric I'm using for the elastic. Watch the way I'm going to make the elastic casing. So you're going to go ahead and close this, and then use your elastic case and case the elastic. So I just go ahead and do that, and I'm back. This is it. Make sure you align this properly, and you're going to place it like this and sew the waistline. After you're done, make sure to overlock it. And for the hemline, I'm going to fold it 2 inches in. And after I was done, the whole thing was looking very panging. So this is the final look. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're watching me for the first time. And to my subscribers, thank you guys for always supporting and coming back. Today's shout out is to Red Butterfly. Thank you for always engaging, and I can see you on my Facebook. Thank you, I appreciate.